Hello, everybody. Welcome to CCA Live. I'm Paula Nowak. I am the owner and head trainer of Canine Country Academy, and our main goal is to help people have better relationships with their dogs through the use of positive reinforcement and relationship-based training. And I thought for the rest of this month, aka the rest of this year, we would have a specific theme Monday through Friday to talk about some of the troubles you guys might be having with the season and being busy. And I thought what we would do is we would have some live feeds to talk about different things that you might be going through and ways to prevent issues and troublesome behaviors. So for today's topic, we're talking about, and that's why we're at my front door, is door dashing. Door dashing is something that is very dangerous for our canine friends and maybe some feline friends too. We don't want our animals rushing out of the house, especially when it's unsafe. So if you live in a neighborhood or near a busy road, that could be deadly. So what I want to work on today is showing you how to teach your dog to have more impulse control around the door. Now I want to give you some tips and tell you what you're going to need before we get started. Norby is my assistant, which you'll see here shortly. He has done a bit of this, but if you're anything like me, you probably manage it for the most part. You know, I put a baby gate in front of the door or in front of the staircase that I'm sitting on. We use our garage door maybe to go get the pizza. So you might be managing things, and that's perfectly fine, but management ultimately fails. So it's not a bad idea to work on this, even if it's not to completion, just so you have more impulse control around the door. My guys know which doors are really important. They have an emotional attachment or excitement to it. So the front door is typically a problem, or the garage door is typically a problem. But maybe going into a bedroom or a bathroom or an extra room is not that exciting. So it might be important for you guys to start with a non-emotional door. So think about that. Is there a door in your home you could use instead until your dog is doing pretty good at these skills before you move to the front door or another door that goes outside? Because we want to be safe and we want our dog to be successful. So we're going to work on the front door because Norby's been good at that, and it's probably the best place for me to video for you as well. So we're at my front door. It's a little awkward because I have a staircase right next to it. And I already have Norby in his harness, so you're definitely going to need a harness. If you have multiple dogs, you want to secure the rest of your dogs, as I have, and work one dog at a time. Once two of your dogs are doing really well at this, then you can pair them together. But that might mean that you have to go backwards in training. Remember, circular training, it's never linear. You might have to go backwards and work on those skills as a group. And I'm going to always tell you to have your dog secure if you are doing this, because there is no guarantee that they're not going to cross that boundary. There might be a squirrel in my neighborhood. Unfortunately, my neighbor's cat thinks that our front porch is pretty awesome to lay on and sun on, which I don't even know, he might be out there right now, which is not a great idea with 4 terriers, that if I open the door, there could be someone on the other side of the door. I don't know. I've had that happen to me where I was going to grab a package and the electric company was telling me something and I was just totally startled. So you never know, so you want to be safe. So I've got Norby in a harness. I prefer a harness because it doesn't put any pressure on his neck. So if he does try to run out there, I can keep him safe and not choke him. I also have a 6-foot leash. And you could also, once your dog is getting more solid, you could use a longer leash. Not a flexi lead, but like a 10, 20-foot line. Good boy. He doesn't like waiting. So that way you could let them cross the boundary safely. I'm going to do it today if he can handle it. We'll see where he's at. But we're going to teach him what to do on both sides of the door. And then initially, our reward is going to be training treats or cheese, chicken, something they really like, because we're asking the dog not to cross a boundary that's really exciting on the other side. And one thing you might want to work on is really desensitizing them to equipment. So putting a harness on for most dogs that I meet mean what? It means getting out and about. So if that's the case for your dog, you might want to just teach them to wear it around the house. Just supervise them so they don't chew on it or get stuck on something. Same with like a collar if they don't normally wear it. And then the same thing with the leash coming out. So for Norby, he's excited because he knows like we're going to do something, but he's not over the top. He can still think and learn, and that's what we're looking for when we're going to work on something in the house when we have equipment on. I know. It's just something that we need to work on in general. The other thing I'll tell you is we need to work on this in stages. We don't want to just like have a guest at the door and expect this to go well, because that's not going to happen. You have to work at levels, okay? So you have to start where there's nothing at the door, then maybe that you talk to an imaginary friend at the door. If you have side lights, you might have to block those out if they see, you know, things out there. So you have to think about, how am I going to set my dog up for success? Most dogs, I know, honey, most dogs benefit from actually seeing what's at the door if it's not too exciting. So I could start us in the living room, but he's just not going to be able to see, and it's going to be too far for me. So it depends on your setup, and if you want, you can even message me a picture of your entryway and I can give you some ideas of what you can do. So if you guys plan on working on this now or in the future, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. And before I get started training, if you know anyone who might benefit from this, feel free to share the live feed either now or the recorded version. All right, so I've given you some information on what we're going to start with. I've told you what we need. Now what we're going to do is actually put in a little work. So I'm going to talk you through what we would do, and then I'll show you. And if you were here with me, I'd have you do it. So you'll have to tell me how it goes. So first what we're going to do is make sure he's got his equipment on. Then I'm using my bottom step as his base. You could use a platform. You could use an exercise stool. You could use a dog bed. You know, yesterday we talked about teaching your dog place or spot. So starting there is a good point for working at the door. And then we're going to reward him for just remaining on the step. He's only going to get rewards if he stays on that step. I don't care if he tap dances. I don't care if he sits, he lies down. As long as he doesn't move forward, he's going to get a reinforcement. Break it down for him by touching the door, jiggling the handle, turning the lock. Every little piece is a step because it's a trigger for most dogs. And then once I can get the door open and he maintains his composure at the door, then I would let him go through, but I would have criteria where I tell him he can go through. And then on the other side, I have to teach him what to do. Many dogs, when you say, okay, free, break, they just shoot through that door, right? I know they do when they come to the training academy. So I've got to teach the dog what to do on the other side. And for Norby, I'm going to say his name if we get to that point in this live feed. I'm going to have a treat ready, and I'm going to lure him into a sit or ask him to sit, or maybe even just say his name so he'll connect with me. And then I'll reinforce him, because after he goes through, my goal would be that he reconnects with me so I could tell him what we're going to do next, versus, boom, I'm out of this place and I can do what I want, right? That's not what we're looking for, because manners on one side of the door is not the only thing we need on both sides, right? So as I get started doing this, feel free to post questions. I'll check in before the end of this live feed, and then I'll check in later too. So thanks for tuning in. We've got a lot of viewers today. So hey, everybody. All right, so I'm going to get his leash on, right? And this is a 6-foot lead. I could use a shorter or a longer one. I don't think he's got all the skills he needs. Good job, buddy. To take off on a longer leash. So I'm just going to start with a 6-foot lead. I've got my treats. I'm going to put these in my pocket so I don't drop them everywhere. You could use a bait bag or have a little container. Maybe you're not as klutzy as I am. Good job, bud. Good. And I'm just going to reinforce him. Notice I have a loose leash. Good boy. He has no idea. He's like, what? A loose leash because I want it to be his choice. If he makes a mistake, nothing happens. Sorry, you have to talk to me this way. Nothing happens. The more he can learn on his own, the stronger it will be in his brain. So I'm just not going to say anything. He's going to have to make the right choices. So he's still there. Depending on your criteria, you might want them to do it. Yep, you might want them to sit. Good boy. It just is a little more stationary than standing up. But you got to do what the dog feels comfortable as well. So I'm going to touch the handle. Yep. Right, because that can make him excited, thinking, oh my goodness, she's going to open that door. Oh, no. Right, so nothing happens. He gets rewarded. So we're rewarding the maintaining of staying in position. I'm going to turn the lock because that went well, right? So if it goes well, I'm going to go to the next step. Good. So my lock is kind of quiet. Good job, bud. And eventually the reward is going to be going through the door, not just the cookie in my hand. I know. All this sneezing is his frustration. Good job. He's like, I've got this, lady. So that went well. That doesn't seem to trigger him. He's not getting up. So I'm going to turn it as if I'm opening it and maybe open it just a bit. You see that gets a reaction. Good. So I could have closed it or I could just wait, and I chose to wait. Good job, bud. But notice I'm not telling anything except for when he's correct. Right, and there's good smells coming through. Who the heck knows if that cat's on the other side? I didn't check ahead of time. I know. Right, so I might peek out there. Good job. This is where, you know, good job. Good, he's curious, that's okay. He didn't leave his position. I could even like have a pretend conversation like, hey, just leave that package there. All these things trigger the dog. So we are trying to tell them no matter what happens at that front door, you stay on your step and good things happen to you. Yeah, that's good. Very nice, brother. Good. And I could say yes, I could use a clicker. I'm just being casual about this. Good boy. So if he fixed himself, I might reward him or I'll wait and try that step again. Just depends on where your dog is in their training. Yes. And you can hear maybe that there's some kids making some noises, so that could be exciting. Try to pick a time where there's not a lot going on in your front area here. Yep, good. Nice. So let's say that he got out, he's on leash. The only thing that's going to happen is I'm going to ask him to come back in. Yep, we're just trying to make it more exciting to be inside than versus going outside. Good boy. You're doing super good, kiddo. Good. Right, and you can do this for a long time. You can do it for a short amount of time. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can get it a little bit more open. Whoops. So we made a mistake. Hey, Norby. So I'm just holding my ground. I'm not fussing at him or anything. We all make mistakes. Maybe it was my mistake to open it so soon. Good job, bud. Good. So we'll try that again. Good. That was right. Okay. And this next time, if he maintains, I'll let him out there, but I'm going to show you what I want. Hopefully you'll be able to see it or at least hear it. Awkward video area. Okay. Right here. Norby. Norby. It's way too exciting out here. Norby. Norby. Yeah, good boy. Right, so I have to work on that. Let's come in. Norby. Good job. Good. But it didn't take too long to get him back. It was just a little more exciting out there. And the more we do this, the less, you know, awesome it is out front because you see it all the time. My guys don't get to see it all the time. We've got a couple neighbor dogs that have loose dogs, and I just don't want that interaction. Oh, I know. I bet you guys can relate to that if you have dogs in the neighborhood that people just let loose. Okay. Good. Norby. Norby. Yay! Good boy. So I'm going to jackpot that because that was really hard for him. Good boy. So I'm giving him several treats. Good job. Come on in. Because it's way better to be with me than whatever's going on out there. We're going to do this one more time before I answer any of your questions. So please post those in the comments down below. If you're having other troubles, other troubles this season, please post those as well. And I'll try to cover those topics in our live feeds. So now he has an expectation that he's going out. Right, so I'm not going to let him out that time because his expectation was, oh, mom's just going to say okay and I get to go out and look at everything. Good boy. Right, so he's smart. He knows how to figure out humans pretty quick. So I got to be careful what he's learning. Good. I like that he's reconnecting. It's kind of hard. Okay. Good, that was great. So that was a perfect example. Good boy. I'm going to let him look around out there for a second because he reconnected. Got a plane going overhead. Good job, bud. There's lots to see out there. Good boy. Excellent. So that was really awesome, and I'll end at that because he did so well. Good job. So outside can be a huge reinforcement to get to look around and see what's going on out there. I'm just going to jackpot him for doing that and let him be free. Okay. He's like, I could do this forever. Good job, bud. All right, guys. So what questions do you have? I hope this was helpful. Sitting in my in my staircase here. And Norby's a really good example. He's had a lot of training, even though he's 2, but he's still a teenager. And those teenagers can forget things really fast. So, oh yes, terriers are so cute, Morgan. I love, love, love terriers. I have several breeds I really like. Terriers and German Shepherds would probably be my top 2, followed by some poodles. But I always look at dogs and say, what can you do? What is possible? Aside from what their breed is. Same with people. You know, I get to meet people of all walks of life, all backgrounds, and I always think, you know, what is possible? What can you do? Versus looking at people or dogs' limitations. So that's really important, right? Because none of us are perfect. No trainer has perfect dogs. If that's the case, I would really be concerned about their relationship with their dogs, because no relationship is perfect either, right? Okay, any questions about door dashing or troublesome behaviors during the holidays? You can post those down in the comments below. If you need additional support, maybe one-on-one or a group class, we offer private in-home lessons in Gwinnett County and surrounding areas. We also offer group classes. Those are limited to about 6 dogs in the classes in our facility. We have a climate-controlled facility in Lawrenceville, actually 2 buildings on the property that we use for training. And we work on everything from preventative like this and peppy skills all the way up to behavioral issues. So if your dog is unsure of other people or other dogs, we can help you with that. And we also offer day training options. That means that one of our wonderful trainers builds the foundation for you, and then you get the transfer session that teaches you how to ask your dog to do the things they've been learning during the day. Isn't that nice? And all of that information can be found on our website, and you're welcome to email us, call us, even Facebook message us if you have questions about how we can help you and your dog have an even better relationship. All right, guys, so I'm going to sign off tomorrow. Oops, sorry, Norby. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about another way to enrich your dog's life through scent work. So tune in tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern time. We're going to be talking about scent work and how to get it started. There's a couple different ways you can get started, whether you want to do it as a more competitive nature, like I was taught through the certification through NACSW, or you just want to hide some things around the house for your dog. We're going to talk about that tomorrow because that can be great fun, and we'll talk about the benefits to doing that. So thanks so much for tuning in. Norby's a little fussy. He's done with this if he's not going to get any rewards. He's got other things to do. But I really appreciate your time, and I look forward to working with you soon. See you tomorrow. Bye.